State Council of Chiefs. Honorable Justice Abdul Abuki, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired. Honorable Justice Clara Bata Ogumbi, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired. Honorable Justice Bode Rhodes Vival, CFR, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired. Honorable Justice Galadima, CFR, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired. Honorable Justice Francis Fedode Tabai, CFR, Justice of the Supreme Court, retired. Presiding Justice of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, Honorable Justice Biobele A. Judgeville, Justice of the Court of Appeal, and other Justices of the Court of Appeal here present. Honorable Justice Simon Chibuzo Amadi, Chief Judge of Rivers State. Honorable Justice Toho, Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. Chukwemeka Chikeka, Chief Judge, Imo State. Honorable Justice Husseini Baba Yusuf, Chief Judge of Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, presented by Honorable Justice S.C. Origi. Honorable Justice Ihemna, judges here, various jurisdictions here, Judge of the Federal High Court Division of the National Industrial Court, Port Harcourt Division. River State Council of Traditional Rulers and other traditional rulers here present, members of the National and State Assembly, Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, members of the State Judicial Commission, elder state advisors, the mayor of Harcourt City Local Government Area, government welcome to the commissioning of the Federal Judicial. Eze Barrister Uchuku Isaiah Eliku JP, Eze Parisi, the 12th.
Exactly, Sabigo Ejibelam, Guru Kuchina and Dobby. Over Amatia, so I don't want to Mata College.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome address. Respectfully.
Your Excellency, Chief Nyesu Wike, the Governor of Rivers State, and his dear wife, Honorable Justice Suzette Eberechi Nyesu Wike. My Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Olukayode GCON, Chief Justice of Nigeria, my lords, Justice of the Supreme Court here, serving and retired, my lords, Justice of Court of Appeal, serving and retired, my lords, heads of court here present, respected traditional rulers here present, senior advocates of Nigeria, my brother judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, my brother judges of various jurisdictions here, respected ladies and gentlemen, members of the press. It is with immeasurable pleasure and honor that I, on behalf of the Rivers State Judiciary, welcome my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, GCON, His Excellency Chief Nyeso Wike, CON, GSS-RS, Live Bencher, Governor of Rivers State, and all other dignitaries present at this auspicious occasion of the commissioning of 2 projects executed by His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, namely the magnificent Rivers State Judicial Institute, named after a living legend and jurist, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, CFR, retired Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and the exquisite office complex housing the Federal Judicial Service Commission, South Legion Office. The former is an imposing edifice located in the office of the old government. I thank God Almighty, the omnipotent and most benevolent, for this special privilege for us to be part of the ceremony. I thank His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, of this epoch-making ceremony. I thank His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, for finding time out of His Lordship busy schedule to be It is on record that His Excellency Chief Nyesom Ezenwo Wike, the Governor of Rivers State, on 12th of October 2021, signed into law the Rivers State Judicial Institute, Law Number 8 of 2021. The law established the Rivers State Judicial Institute as a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal, may sue and be sued in its corporate name, and may hold, acquire, and dispose of property, movable or immovable, for the performance of its functions under the law. The law established for the Institute the Board of Governors, who shall manage and direct the affairs of the Institute. There is, however, an administrator for the Institute, who is the Chief Executive of the Institute, and is responsible to the Board of Governors for the management of the affairs of the Institute. By Section 8, Subsection 2 of the law, the administration shall be a retired judicial officer to be appointed by the Chief Judge of the state after consultation with members of the board, and shall hold office on terms and conditions specified in the letter of appointment. The objective of this institute, as set out under the law in Section 6 thereof, is to serve as the principal focal point of judicial activities relating to training, promotion of efficiency, uniformity, and improvement in the quality of judicial services in the superior and inferior courts in the state. By Section 20 thereof, which is the interpretation section, superior court means any court established by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. The functions of the institute are elaborately set out under Section 7 of the law. By the said section, the institute shall conduct courses, provide continuing education for every category of judicial officers by undertaking, organizing, conducting, and facilitating study, courses, lectures, seminars, workshops, conferences, and other programs related to judicial education. Judicial officers in the context of the law includes the Chief Judge and judges of the High Court, the President and judges of the Customary Court of Appeal, magistrates and chairmen of Customary Courts in Rivers State. The institute shall organize annual conference for judges, magistrates, chairmen, and members of the Customary Court of the state. The institute shall disseminate information on its activities through publication of books, journals, records, reports, law reports, or any other means approved by the board as its contribution towards knowledge. The institute is to establish and maintain a library comprising books, records, law reports, publications approved by the board for the advancement of knowledge in the areas of activities undertaken by the institute. Above all, the institute shall promote, undertake any other activity necessary in the opinion of the board to achieve its objective. Your Excellency, my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, my lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it was Honorable Justice T.A. Oyedipo, OFR, one-time administrator of the National Judicial Institute, who said in his paper titled Judicial Education for Excellence in Administration of Justice in Nigeria, the role of National Judicial Council Institute, I quote, "Courts have a critical role in society to ensure that the rule of man does not overtake the rule of law. To do their work well, courts everywhere in the world need judges with the highest ethical standards, extensive legal knowledge, and complex and unique skills in leadership, decision-making, and administration, and highly ethical and competent staff. The primary goal of judicial education is the maintaining and improvement of the professional competence of all persons performing judicial functions, thereby enhancing the performance of the judicial system as a whole," unquote. Permit me to assure Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, and my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, that the Board of Governors, when constituted under Section 2 and 3 of the Judicial Institute, shall fulfill its mandate in reposition the state judiciary for optimal performance in deepening the knowledge base of judicial officers of the state judiciary, enhancing the protection of democratic values, and strengthening the rule of law in the overall interest of the state. Consistent with the motto of the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, I quote, "Knowledge that makes the difference." The Institute, when operational, will collaborate with the National Judicial Institute, the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, and other agencies to raise the Institute to a top-notch, result-oriented research institution capable of expanding the frontiers of knowledge in a very profound manner. At this juncture, I wish to reiterate the fact that the Rivers State Judicial Institute law was not passed by the Rivers State House of Assembly and signed into law by the governor to compete in any form whatsoever with the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, but rather to complement the efforts of the National Judicial Institute in its core mandate. The Rivers State Judicial Institute shall always look upon the National Judicial Institute as its parent body and shall need the assistance and collaboration of the National Judicial Institute in realizing its objectives. It bears reminding to note that the Lagos Judiciary had, in 2019, established the Lagos Judicial Institute for the training of its judicial officers and support staff, with a view to expanding their overall knowledge and performances in like manner and purposes under the Rivers State Judicial Institute Law number 8 of 2010. Judges play such a crucial role in the justice delivery system that it will be adverse to progress if their training needs are overlooked, especially in areas we touch on everyday life. These areas include economic and commercial laws, economic crimes, e-fraud, and information technology towards judicial automation, cyber crimes, and other associated fields. To be fully capable of administering justice, judges ought to be abreast with the new and emerging areas of the law. Lack of knowledge of new areas of the law can be a serious setback to judicial dispute resolution, which in turn can have very serious negative consequences for the administration of justice. The need for continued education of judges, magistrates, and support staff cannot be overemphasized. On appointment and assumption of duty of a judge, the excitement generated by that appointment often disappears in the burdensome nature of the job and the high intellectual strain experienced, or better still, expected in the search for solution to the issue raised in the matter before the judge. These legacy issues, which Your Excellency has graciously given to the River State, will continue to be succored to unravel delicate and knotty aspects of the law. It was Kayode Esho, JSC of blessed memory, who once said, "Without justice, law labors in vain." I'm happy that the River State, under the watch of His Excellency, the Governor of River State, has made giant strides in this regard by first giving his assent to the instrument, the River State Judicial Institute law, and secondly, building such a monumental and naming the institute after Justice Mary Odili. Justice Mary Peter Odili, JSC CFR, remains a living legend and a precious gift to the River State Judiciary. Naming the institute after this icon of judicial integrity, independence, and reform is a well-deserved honor. Congratulations, my lords. The Federal Judicial Service Commission is one of the 14 federal executive bodies established by Section 153, Sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Paragraph 12, Part 1 of the third schedule to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended stipulates the composition of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. The Chief Justice of Nigeria is the chairman of the Federal Judicial Service Commission. The functions of the commission are clearly spelled out in paragraph 13, part 1 of the third schedule supra, among which is to advise the National Judicial Council in nominating persons for appointment to Federal Courts and Code of Conduct Tribunal. The decentralization of the Federal Judicial Service Commission into the 6th geopolitical zone in the country is as a result of the complaints and clamor by Nigerians. This to avoid the inconveniences and disadvantage suffered by component 36 states of the Federation as a result of its centralization at Abuja. His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom Wike, and the government of Rivers State by this uncommon feat in the overall national development of Nigeria beyond the state's sphere of its constitutional duty has unarguably and undoubtedly answered the yearnings of the states of South political zone of Nigeria, namely Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa Cross River, Edo, and River States. As records show, as far as infrastructural development in Nigeria is concerned, His Excellency, the Governor of River State, has done well. We cannot just stop mentioning it and naming the projects at different fora. His infrastructural development did not begin and end in River State Judiciary. He extended it to the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, the National Industrial Court, and recently, they commissioned Dr. Nabok Brian Douglas, Port Harcourt campus of the Nigerian Law School. No wonder His Excellency Professor Yemi Osibanjo, the Vice President, named the Governor Mr. Proja years ago. The Governor, as we all know, is an eminent and outstanding awardee of Mr. President Excellence Infrastructural Delivery in Public Service. Finally, let me express my profound appreciation on behalf of the River State Judicial to His Excellency, the Governor of River State, for providing a forum for the intellectual development necessary for proper administration of justice in the state through the Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute. His Excellency, my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, my lords, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the objective and functions of this shall no doubt impact positively in the administration of justice in River State. It is also not in doubt that by building of the Federal Civil Service Commission Legion Office in Port Harcourt, His Excellency the Governor of River State has admirably raised the signpost of national unity. To my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, we wish my Lord a pleasant stay in Port Harcourt. It is our prayer that God Almighty will give my Lord the wisdom, good health, strength, and courage to pilot the Nigerian judiciary to an enviable height. We wish my Lord a very successful tenure. Finally, I thank all invited guests and everyone for your excellent presence at this occasion. May God Almighty bless you all. Thank you for your kind attention.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to thrill us with their sonorous voice, may I invite Aloysius Mbata and his crew.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll state it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain, and I've planned each chartered course, each careful step, not in a shy way. What more than this? I did it my way. Forward is a man. save not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and of the one who needs. The record shows I took the blow, I did it my
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together one more time for Aloysius Mbata and his crew. May I now invite to entertain us the regional members of Oroije.
Governor Wike, Bonhoro, member Dalanko, Abuno, Amusamayele. Governor Wike, Bonhoro, member Dalanko. Governor Wike, Omesule, yes, Wike, Omesule, we not Budike. Yes, Wike, Omesule, we not Budike. We can Omesule. Governor Wike, Omesule, we not Budike. Omesule. way. Yes, so we go, Mesule, Monabudi. I just so we go, Mesule, Mesule. And then we go, Mesule, we not put it. Oh, Mesule. Ah, come on, we go, Mesule, Mesule. And then we go, Mesule, we not put it. Yes, so we go, Mesule. Yes, so we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Ah, yes, so we go, yes, so we go, Mesule. Ah, come on, we go, Mesule. Come on, we go, Mesule, we not put it. Yes, so we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Ah, come on, we go, Mesule. Yes, so we go, Mesule, we not put it. Oh, come on, we go, Mesule. We go, Mesule, we love you. Oh, Mesule, yes, we go, Mesule, we. I'm gonna we go, Mesule, oh, Mesule, how we go, Mesule, we love you. Oh, Mesule, yes, we go, Mesule, we love you. How do we go, Mesule, oh, Mesule, do we go, Mesule, yes, we go, Mesule, yes, we go, Mesule, we love you. Hey, we go, Mesule. And we go, Mesule, we love you. Yes, we go, Mesule, we. I do we go, Mesule, oh, Mesule, do we go, oh, Mesule, we love you. Yes, we go, Mesule. Yes, we go, Mesule, we love you. I do, yes, oh, Mesule, oh, Mesule. Yes, oh, Mesule, we love you. Yes, we go, Mesule. Yes, we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Come on, we go, Mesule, oh, Mesule. Come on, we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Yes, we go, Mesule. Yes, we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Come on, we go, Mesule, oh, Mesule. Oh, we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Oh, Mesule. Yes, we go, Mesule, Monabudi. I'm your ass, oh, Mesule, oh, Mesule. Oh, we go, Mesule, Monabudi. Yes, we go, Mesule. Yes, we go, Mesule, Monabudi.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together for original members of Ariwoola. Thank you very much. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can we put our hands together for them? Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point invite to give the project description the Honorable Commissioner for Special Projects, Honorable Dema Iyala.
Special guest of honor, His Lordship, Honorable Justice Oluka-Ede Ariwoola, GCOA, Chief Justice. This complex entails a story building, a security gatehouse, a generator house, perimeter fence, landscaping and external works. The ground floor. The ground floor of the first-story building is the main auditorium with 150-seater capacity. The auditorium is provided with a multimedia system having 2 LED screens of 6 square meters each and a complete public address system. The same ground floor, Your Lordship, has an 80-seater capacity lecture hall, tastefully furnished offices, a coffee and mini canteen, a kitchen and a storage room. The first floor down. The first floor consists of Office of the Director, Office of the Deputy Director, Internal Auditor, Accounts, a 40-seater library, a librarian office, research department office, a lounge for relaxation. Security house. The security house is provided for effective security management in the complex. Generator house. The complex has a generator house with a 150 kVA generator set. Landscaping and external works. The entire complex is secured with a perimeter fence of see-through grace. The car park provided in this complex can accommodate over 40 cars. That is where we are seated now, constructed with interlocking stones. The entire complex is a fire alarm system, access control system, and a dedicated water system. Additionally, all the offices are fully furnished and all the halls are well equipped and fitted for the purpose. Thank you. God bless us.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to give a goodwill message, may I respectfully invite the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Rivers State, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN.
My noble Lord, the Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, GCON, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, and our special guest of honor, Your Excellency, Nyesom Ezewon Wike, CON, GSSROS, Light Venture, Governor of Rivers State, and your lovely wife, Honorable Justice Eberechi Suzette Wike, Your Excellencies, members of the Integrity Group, the Governor of Benue, Governor of Abia, and Governor of Enugu State. Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, the Right Honorable Speaker, please, for sake of time, allow me to rest on the protocol already well established. Let me start by congratulating the Rivers State Judiciary on the commissioning of this landmark project, the Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute, which is established by the Rivers State Judicial Institute Law number 8 of 2021. Your Excellencies, although traditionally wig and gown are generally associated with legal profession, the truth of the matter is that the profession is erected on higher virtue, the virtue of deep learning and adherence to a standard of ethics higher than that of the marketplace. To sustain learning, sustain high ethical standard, you need continuous legal education, training and retraining. This institute is designed to provide a local platform for the training and retraining of our judicial officers and support personnel to enhance justice delivery. It is my hope that the judiciary will put it to maximum use to promote efficient, effective, and speedy dispensation of justice. I will conclude by thanking His Excellency for this noble gesture. You have delivered once again. That inexhaustible capacity to deliver on promises made is legendary. And I also conclude by thanking and congratulating my Lord, the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, in whose honor this structure is named. It is an honor well deserved. Thank you, congratulations, and have a great day.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to give a goodwill message on behalf of the body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, Port Harcourt, may I respectfully invite a former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Rivers State, a past President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Sir OCJ Okocha, OFR, SAN, JP.
My Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kayode Ariwoola, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Grand Service Star of Rivers State, Life Bencher, and your amiable wife, the Honorable Justice Suzette Berechi Wike. Your Excellencies of the Integrity Group of Governors here present, Your Excellencies, former governors, my lords of all the superior courts here present, serving and retired, Your Majesties and Royal Highnesses, traditional rulers and chiefs here present, learned senior advocates of Nigeria, distinguished colleagues at the bar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, let me, on behalf of the body of senior advocates of Nigeria here in Port Harcourt, and indeed those who have come from far and near, particularly our colleagues from the neighboring states and from the Federal Capital Territory, congratulate the judiciary in Nigeria, and particularly the judiciary in Rivers State, for the commissioning we are witnessing today of two landmark and legacy projects, again executed by His Excellency Governor Nyesom Wike and the government of Rivers State. The Federal Judicial Service Commission Liaison Office at Forces Avenue, Port Harcourt, was earlier commissioned this morning. But this is the one that really impacts on our lives as judges and lawyers. Training, as we know, is at the core of our profession. And I'm grateful to my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State, for reading out in extenso the responsibilities, functions, and duties of the National Judicial Institute and also of the Rivers State Judicial Institute. On Wednesday, the 23rd, our governor told us the purpose behind which he conceived this idea of establishing and building and delivering this to the judiciary. Training, as I say, is at the heart of our profession of law, our learned profession of law. It was, in fact, our late former leader, Chief Frederick Rotimi Alade Williams, Timidi Law as he was called, QCSAN, who always told us learning and continuous learning is at the core of this profession. And he said, lawyers can learn from judges, lawyers can learn from magistrates, so can judges and magistrates also learn from lawyers. So we must say how happy we are. This institute, we believe, will improve on the efficiency of the judges and magistrates in the delivery of justice to our people. And Your Excellency, again, I must say a special word of thank you for naming this edifice after the Honorable Justice Mercy Obuagu, my senior brother and my in-law. Thank you for standing behind our dear mother, the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili. Your Excellencies, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, it is not a day for long speeches. I've made quite a few, and on this occasion I can only say congratulations again.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, and your brothers judges here present, His Excellency, our amiable Governor of Rivers State, and your dear wife, Their Excellencies, members of the Integrity Group of Governors, G5, May I, at this stage, stand on all the existing protocols already established by these proceedings. I wish to heartily congratulate our dear governor for this landmark achievement amongst the several other things he has done for us in this state. And I wish to congratulate our amiable lady, Honorable Justice Mary Odili, retired Justice of the Supreme Court. She has distinguished herself right from the magistracy, High Court, Court of Appeal, and to Court of Justice Supreme Court. My Lord, we congratulate you. I wish most or all other women should adopt what you have really done for us in this state. We are very proud of you in this state. We are very proud of you, I must confess. And what we are also saying from what you have given us at the bench, I think is a glorious moment for us. We thank God for what you have done for us. Congratulations, my Lord. God bless you.
You've been faithful, Lord, through the ages past. That is why your name is forevermore. You've been faithful, Lord. You've been faithful, Lord, through these ages past.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to give her remarks, may I respectfully invite Honorable Justice Mary Ukaego Peter Odili, CFR, former Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Through these ages past, that is why your name is there.
You think so? I thought. Our dear Governor, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, Governor of Rivers State, and the beautiful Suzette Nyesom Wike, the Honorable Justice of the High Court of Rivers State. My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justices of the Supreme Court, serving and retired, the cameramen, shielded, the integrity men who are here with us, the Excellencies, Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State, Samuel Autumn of Benue, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu, the Gburugburu of Nigeria. I will also recognize in absentia Sheyi Makinde of Oyo State, who was with us last night at the banquet hall in honor of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. He had to leave for other functions. Members of the National Assembly and State Assemblies here present. The Chief Judges, especially of Rivers State, the Honorable Justice Amadi, and other Chief Judges who are here of Imo and Bayelsa State, the Honorable Justice Kate Abiri and Justice Chikeka, Justices of the Court of Appeal, and may I especially recognize the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, John Soho, Judges of the Federal High Court, Judges of Industrial Court, the learned senior advocates, which include former Federal Attorneys General Kanu Agabi and Mohammed Bello Adoke, members of the Outer Bar, the Attorney General and members of the Executive Council of Rivers State, and also the former executive members of Rivers State of the former Governor Peter Odili, who are here. The Chairman, Traditional Rulers Council of Rivers State and Nasarawa State, and other paramount rulers here present. The Vice Chancellors of the universities who are here since an institution or an institute is being commissioned, including Professor Tahir Maman of Bayes University, who also was Director General of the Nigerian Law School. The security personnel serving and retired, and may I especially recognize my friend, former AIG Hilda Harrison. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when the former Attorney General of Rivers State and former President Nigerian Bar Association, Osije Okocha, spoke, he captured, in essence and very well, the role my husband played in my judicial career. We were in Benin. I had just had our first child, our daughter, Dr. Adezore. He had just started work in a private clinic in Port Harcourt at the Herb Green Clinic, owned by Dr. Green. I wrote an application to be a magistrate in Rivers State. It was my husband who carried the application to the Chief Registrar then, Ezekiel Appa of blessed memory. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the women of Rivers State, and the men and the youth of Rivers State. Words fail me at this point to properly thank our governor. My husband and I have labored on how to thank him and for which aspect of his benevolence we should thank him. It is difficult, and since we can never repay him all that he has done for us, and all his wife has also done, we have presented him and his family to the Almighty God for the adequate reward. Recently, the governor moved us from the mansion my husband built for me. He moved us into a castle, and that is where we came from. Governor, many thanks. Since we met in the Court of Appeal, he has always shown love and respect for me and my family. For him to take the extra trouble to be here physically to honor me and my family. My Lord, the Chief Justice, God bless you. Since the governor has given me this honor of naming an edifice of this nature, with the content of what it represents, knowledge and expertise for judicial officers, I shall take the liberty to do something. I do not think the ceremony will be complete in an institute or an institution or a school without a first lecture. And I am giving that first lecture now. The topic, Forbearance, Case Study, Olukayode Ariwoola, Justice of the Court of Appeal, as he then was. In 2011, 3 names were recommended by the President of Nigeria to the Supreme Court for screening for appointment as justices of the Supreme Court. Mohammed Bello Adoke will recall, he was the Attorney General then. There were 3 names: the Honorable Justice Sylvester Nguta of blessed memory, myself, Olukayode Ariwoola. The 3 of us were from the Court of Appeal. We arrived at the Court of Appeal, at the Supreme Court, at the Senate for screening. My 3 daughters were excited and they followed me to see the proceedings. By the time the scheduled screening was to start, my brother Olukayode Ariwoola was told he could not be screened, that there was a problem. The nature of the problem, nobody told him. But this man who epitomizes the calmness or the calm disposition which a judicial officer should have remained calm. I asked him, "Brother, are you going away?" He said, "No. Since they are not going to screen me, I will remain here to give you support." He stayed with us, and to tell you he was not faking, he charted a friendship with my children, whom he decided to call triplets, a title that has remained with him and them till date. He called my children Adeze, Chinelo, Njideka. He said they were triplets. I said they were not born on the same day. He said it didn't matter, they are triplets as far as he was concerned. Indeed, he gave me support as if he had not come for that screening. At the end of the day, he became our photographer and was arranging everything. I just could not believe on the strength of character of this man. As he was carrying out these personally assigned duties, I was amazed. I asked him, "Brother," he said, "it is the will of God." And we can see when the will of God came to perfection, he became our Chief Justice of Nigeria. I am giving this lecture for the young judges, magistrates, customary courts of appeal, or customary courts, for us all to learn that at all times the will of God will prevail. And when we are not chosen today, we do not know what God has programmed for the future. And so, my brother, the Chief Justice, I salute you. And I thank God for your life, for your expertise, and the way you carried on and have brought that character to the seat of the head of the Nigerian judiciary. And I know the future is bright for the judiciary of Nigeria and for our country, Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on in thanksgiving to the Almighty God, who has so projected me I was not the most intelligent in our set. Ichendu, who became our chief judge here, had the faculty prize in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Faculty of Law. I was not the most cerebral of the magistrates in Rivers State, nor that of the High Court. But God, in his way of elevating even the unknown to prominence, decided he had to have me elevated. We cannot thank him enough. Nor can I thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for all the support my husband and I have had over the years. And even in some irritating moments, you've stood by the family of Peter Odili, knowing that we have no one else to run to but God Almighty and the people of Rivers and the people of Nigeria who have always stood for what is right. Our governor, may you live long. May God Almighty meet you at your point of need. And may he bless you, your wife, your children, your family in all your endeavors. My Chief Justice and my Omo, my child, because that's what he decided, that I was his mother in the Supreme Court. So I have the privilege of having a son who is the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point respectfully invite to give a speech the Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Yesu Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Grand Service Star of Rivers State, Life Bencher.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, our special guest today, my Lord Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. Your Excellencies, my dear brothers and friends, men of courage, men who are prepared to do anything that is right. The Governor of Benue State, the Governor of Abia State, the Governor of Ariwoola State, and in absentia, the Governor of Oyo State, who, like my Lord said, was with us last night, but had to leave this morning in order to attend a state program in his state. My dear wife, Justice Ebrechi Susan Wike, Your Excellency, the former governor, and your dear wife, whom we are honoring today, my lords, justices of Supreme Court, both serving and retired that are here, the presiding justice of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, and your brother justices from other divisions that are here, the Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Speaker of the State House of Assembly, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, and those of Bayelsa and Imo State, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, and judges of Rivers State High Court, and other judges from other jurisdictions, the President of the Customary Court of Appeal, and judges of the Customary Court of Appeal that are here, members of the Inner Bar, led by the former President of the NBA, Osiju Okocha, former ministers of justice that are here. I've seen Kano Agabi, I've seen Adoke Bello. Let me also salute other traditional rulers that are here, particularly the Chairman of Rivers State Traditional Rulers Council, the Honorable of Opopo, and the Emir of Lafia, who also is the Chairman of Nasarawa State Traditional Council of Chiefs. And let me say to the special greeting to the Eze Pararebisi, Eze Eleku, and members of the Rebisi Council of Chiefs that are here, members of the State Executive Council, our dear leaders that are here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. My Lord, let me, on behalf of the government and people of the state, most sincerely thank you and members of your team for honoring our invitation to be here today to commission the Federal Judicial Service Commission Liaison Office South-South and Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute. When we sent out this invitation, because of your tight schedule, we never knew that we would get a favorable response. But thank Almighty that you sent us west, that you will not be around, but that you will come back and eventually participate in this program. We should start this program by 4, that you should rest very well. But he said, no, you have the capacity. Even if we said it's 8 o'clock in the morning, that you will wake up on time and be here. In fact, before we got to government house this morning, you're already waiting. I never believed that you can stay that late in the night and still come out early morning prepared for this kind of assignment. Was so happy with that. Let me also thank the Federal Judicial Service Commission through my Lord, who is the chairman. When we got a letter saying that if we can provide them a land for the building of the Commission's liaison office in charge of South-South in Port Harcourt, I said, there's no need of giving you land that in the next 10 years, the budget, there will be no budget to implement it. And these days, we don't give our people land when we know you will not develop it immediately. And so I told the secretary that, well, will you allow us to develop it and hand over and make sure that it will be used. They said, well, that they believe that by tenure is coming to an end. I said, that is not your business. Just tell me that you want us to build it. In 1 year's time, we'll hand it over to you. I thank God today that has been commissioned and that has been handed over to the commission. And we're grateful that you said this should be the one in charge of the South-South. I'm sure what you saw this morning with your colleagues, I am aware that you are quite impressed. And when they were explaining to you the offices, because the number of offices you have there, I don't know whether you have that at the National Institute, number of offices, not less than 14, 15 offices there. But thank God for giving us this opportunity. And that land used to belong to, they said, is a railway corporation. As part of our urban renewal, if we pass that Forces Avenue, before OGRA, what it used to be, as we're passing along that area, you can't believe it. The whole place, I don't know where they are. I won't call them criminals because nobody has convicted them. But I suspect there are no good people there. I suspect. And I said, look, with our urban renewal, we can't allow this building to be there. It's not possible. And I wrote to them, look, we are going to take back this place and build something and change the landscape of that area. Of course, then, the former Minister of Transportation refused. I had no choice but to go there and make sure we acquire that land. And the rumor was that, oh, he's acquiring land for himself, everywhere we are. Because they thought, of course, if they were in my position, that is what they were going to do. But I said, look, some of us, what we're interested in is not what you think you should have for yourself, but what will benefit or contribute to the development of our state. The same thing where we are now. If anybody who knows this part of GRA, you will understand that here, the old Nigerian Airways, full of bush, criminal, okay, let me also know the word criminals. Bad people took over this place. And one of these days I was passing, and I called my attorney general. This is the state high court. How can anybody allow this to continue to be here? I said, okay, go and check a Minister of Land who owns this property. They went and they said it was West Africa Airlines something. So I said, okay, check the records. They've never paid one dime as ground rent for the over 20-something years, 30 years. I said, okay, we have been looking for where to put this Judicial Institute. And I thank God we have utilized the place now and see what it has done. And see it has changed the landscape of this area. Look at my bag. See this building. Look at it. I would also use the word criminals. Bad people are staying there. I've written to NITEL. I will not allow this to be here. I won't. The state government will acquire it and do something else. Just look at. How would you allow this to be in this neighborhood? So we will not accept it. It doesn't matter the criticism anybody will say against us. What we are doing for next year. Because if we take the number of judges, both the state level and at the federal level, Federal High Court and the rest, Abuja High Court, that will be a very large number. So,
how do we contribute to make sure that the number that may not be carried amongst our judicial officers and magistrates do also have regular training so that they will meet up with the current developments as regards their job. And so argument came, oh look, why not set up our own institute that will train our judges, train our magistrates and their supporting staff. And we called the chief judge. The chief judge argued that, look, that the one that was set by the Lagos state government, and so there's a conflict. I said there's no conflict. Actually, if Nigeria is operating a true federal system, if Nigeria operates a true federal system, our federalism is not a true federalism. It's federalism in theory, but not in actual practice. If I to practice true federalism, there's nothing wrong in the state having their own judicial institute that will train lawyers, train judges who, of course, apply the laws, preside over matters that affect the state and businesses around here. But we thank God today that the federal government, through the CJN, that what we are doing is to complement the efforts of NJI. We are not taking over the functions of NJI. We are rather complementing their efforts so that our own judges will be ahead of other states. In the south here to come to Abuja, spend this money and that. You can say, okay, you have a judicial institute. We, NJI, will make sure that our judges are given training there. You are not going to pay for using there, but at least we have also saved costs. It is very, very key. And for us, it's not just a judicial institute by saying it's a judicial institute and you live in a life. It's not going to be seen. In fact, I call the Honorable Attorney General. I sometimes, they send out bills to the State Assembly. I read the front page, I say, go ahead. But from what the CJ read today, I will seek for amendment. By Monday, I will seek for amendment. There are so many things I'm not too comfortable. I'll seek for amendment. Because I want a body that, of course, you have a supervision, but it will not look like we are supervision that will hamper the working of the institute. I want where the institute, just like you have the arbitration court, you have the family court and the rest, where budget is being made for them. There will be a different budget for this institute so that we know the institute is working and whoever is going to be the administrator, which we will announce today, because we don't need to wait. We don't need to wait. So we can buy vehicles and have other things to make sure the institute has started to function. So I've decided, at least as a takeoff grant, before they will include them in the budget for next year. I have made my budget presentation. It was not included. I have told the Commissioner of Finance, now that the budget has not been approved, make sure it is included as against 2023. But for now, to start off from now till next year budget will be released, we're making a grant to them of 500 million naira so that the institute can start immediately. And so we can have the full benefit. And people have talked about, when we're asking, when do we name it after at the Executive Council? I can tell you from right to left, everybody says Justice Mary Odili. And I said, why? I said, people are Shako fans. Why? You are mentioning her name because you know she's my mother, so you want to make me happy. And they said, look, check it. She's the only person in this state who has risen from the magistracy to the High Court, to the Court of Appeal, down to Supreme Court. I'm not saying that she's the only one who has been to Supreme Court, no. But I'm talking about from the magistracy to Supreme Court. And luckily retired without blemish, retired with happiness, and by her contribution. So even if, assuming you say, okay, she's not the only one, but she has said here that she doesn't know how herself, her husband, and her family to thank us. That's what she said. So I now told her, look, okay, assuming. I told my wife, you know, in life, people forget their background. People forget where they started from. People forget those who played enough role for them to be where they are. I have told anybody who cares, as if God planned it. When we were in law school, myself and my wife, we were just friends that time, ordinary friends, not anything. So somehow, that you don't choose the court that you will go for yes, you don't. So they published that we are going to Port Harcourt. Which court? They sent us to our court. We were 8 in number. We were 8 in number. So when we were going back to law school, she made uniform for all of us. I don't forget that uniform is still there. I still kept it. That when we came here for attachment, this was what we received. And when my wife and myself were agreed not to be ordinary friends again, that she has seen so much qualities in me. So and I said, well, me too. I won't lie to you, I've seen so much quality, but I was just keeping quiet. So now that you have now told me I have so much quality, let me tell you too, your own quality is too much. So when we now told her that we were going to marry, she took it upon herself to make sure opportunity of having a state marriage. I had an opportunity of having a state marriage. I don't know which politician in this state that never attended that marriage. And look at our political life. The husband made sure. And I believe, even though she was doing her own work, but the kind of support they gave us. But I will never forget the incident where enemies had plotted that I will not run for second tenure as chairman of local government. These same people now fighting me in Abuja, they are the same people that did it that time. So we have done primaries and I had won, thinking that the right thing will be done. Somebody called me from Abuja, look, your name is not in the list. I said, how? The primaries have won. I went berserk. But see how God works. I ran to government house to see her. Luckily, she has finished eating with the husband, and she was going to body camp where we have it does the now 6th division to do this tap for the wives of our army officers. So as she was entering her car, I said, Mommy, they removed my name. She said, ah. I said, they said my name is not there. She now ran up and told the husband, your son said they removed it. He said, how does he do? He now said, the man who did it, I won't call his name, but all of you know.
You've been faithful, Lord, to the ages past, and it's why your day is forevermore.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Barrister Yeson Ezenwo Wike, CON, Your Excellency, the First Lady of Rivers State, Honorable Justice E.S. Yeson Wike, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, the Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, members of the Rivers State House of Assembly here present, my lords, justices of the Supreme Court, serving and retired here present, the presiding justice and other justices of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division in particular, and justices of Court of Appeal serving and retired present, my lords, the Chief Judge and judges of Rivers State Judiciary, the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, esteemed royal fathers here present, my lords spiritual and temporal, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to be here today again to inaugurate these two major edifices that have just been constructed by His Excellency Barrister Yeson Wike, CON, to accommodate the licensing office of the Federal Judicial Service Commission and the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili Judicial Institute in the Garden City of Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Your Excellency, I don't want to tell me that this is indeed an uncommon fate, especially in this, our climate, where a thick wall of demarcation is often deliberately erected to separate state projects from federal projects. That unconscionable act, which glaringly signposts the bane of our development as a country, has often crippled the national cohesion and prosperity. I make bold to say that Rivers State occupies an enviable position among the committee of states that are avidly passionate and unbeat about the welfare and comfort of their respective judiciaries. I heartily commend and elogize your sincere effort and urge you to keep the lofty passion aglow for the ultimate good of Rivers State Judiciary, and by extension, the Nigerian judiciary. Your Excellency is one of those lawyers in position of authority that have relentlessly lent strong voices to the growth, progress, and prosperity of Nigerian judiciary, especially the seamless administration of justice at all levels. You have, thus far, given a good account of yourself as a distinguished life bencher. To say we are proud of Your Excellency is an understatement. You remain a shining light in the legal profession, and we shall always remember you for your unflinching support in the erection of enduring judicial structures in the country. From available statistics, Lagos and Rivers states come tops in the ranking of the most litigious states in the country. What this implies is that all the facilities, manpower, financial and allied materials are perennially stretched. That vividly underscores the enormity of work judicial officers in these two states are inundated with on the regular basis. Like Abraham Harold Mostel, a renowned American psychologist and behaviorist, had said, a good shelter, a good car, a good welfare package, and of course, a conducive work environment by way of conducive office accommodation are those basic incentives that could remarkably serve as the magic wand to bring out the genuines in human beings for optimum performance. Today, you have graciously fulfilled the befitting office accommodation need of the Federal Judicial Service Commission, a federal agency that ordinarily has no direct bearing with Rivers State. This act of magnanimity and camaraderie has not only marked you out as a man of inestimable honor, but as a quintessential statesman whose imprints on the sands of time will remain indelible. A judicial officer without a roof over his head can never be in the right frame of mind to adjudicate. What this implies is that whenever we deliberately or inadvertently toy with the welfare of our judicial officers, we are consciously inflicting a devastating scar on the psyche of our nation. We are not ignorant of our administration's huge investment in the infrastructure of the federal judiciary in the state. On Thursday, the 3rd day of September 2020, my predecessor in office was here in Rivers State to commission the highly exquisite residential estate for judges of Rivers State High Court and justices of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, which was constructed by Your Excellency. In the same vein, on Thursday, the 3rd of June 2021, my predecessor was here again to inaugurate the National Industrial Corps quarters. Just last Friday, the 18th of November 2022, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces was ably represented by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice to commission the ultramodern Nabu Graham Douglas Port Harcourt campus of the Nigerian Law School that was single-handedly conceptualized and built by your administration within 1 year. Today, also, we go down on the positive side of our national history that I, Odili Ariwoola, the current Chief Justice of Nigeria, was here equally to inaugurate one of the several projects constructed by the Wike administration for the use, comfort, and convenience of the federal judiciary. These astounding efforts can never go unnoticed and unmentioned. We sincerely appreciate Your Excellency's inestimable gestures and urge other state governors to take a cue from you, because good deeds have to be publicly acknowledged and publicly adopted as well. At this level of our national development, we should begin to emulate good things that will usher in a new dawn of progressive growth. This is, no doubt, a bold step worthy of commendation and emulation. You are one of the few governors who had pledged to give judges owner-occupier residences so that when they eventually retire, they will get a lifetime accommodation. Today, that pledge has not only been fulfilled, but has formed part of our history. Your effort will tremendously improve the service delivery and comfort of our judicial officers. We shall continuously savor the great honor you have done to our brother Justice, Honorable Justice Mary Okago Peter Odili, CFR, GSC, retired today. Infectious humility, and of course, enviable panacea. She rose from the lowest rung of the judiciary magistracy to the very pinnacle to become a justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and eventually retired from the exalted position of second in command at the Apex Court. His Lordship has emerged as one of the very few proverbial prophets who are not only honored abroad, but equally so honored and embosomed at home with an enduring immortalization. The Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute will definitely remain a major reference point in the training and retraining of judicial officers and administrators in Nigeria and beyond. Ideally, the judiciary, being the third arm of government, deserves more than it is currently getting. However, the good example emanating from Rivers State should be a model to be adopted and replicated across the country. I strongly condemn a situation, and I had said it over again, where chief judges will go to their governors camp in hand to solicit for funds to run the judiciary. Nigeria has it all, has all it takes to be a pace setter in Africa. I believe the time has come for us to begin to occupy the pride of place that is rightfully ours on the continent. The Rivers formula is a good antidote to the age-long infrastructure deficit in the judiciary. Your Excellency has, by this unique gesture, demonstrated that public service has no limitation or encumbrance whatsoever. It's all about individuals' mindset. The judiciary, under my watch, will always uphold the rule of law, supremacy of the Constitution, and of course, strict adherence to all binding court orders. The court exists to protect the rights of all citizens against any form of oppression, suppression, or repression by anybody in whatever position. We, the judicial officers, are ready and ever willing to defend these rights, not minding who is involved. To the glory of the Almighty God, I, Ariwoola, GCON, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, hereby now, on this fateful Friday, the 25th day of November 2022, commission these magnificent edifices built by Wike administration to accommodate the Federal Judicial Service Commission and the newly rechristened Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute. I thank you all very much. May God bless you.
And that is a major work that the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria here is to carry out, and that is the commissioning of the Federal Judicial Service Commission Liaison Office and Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute. And now the dignitaries, after that beautiful speech by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, are moving towards the edifice that is being built here in honor or named after Mary Odili, Justice Mary Odili, a retired Supreme Court Justice, in whose honor this building is being commissioned today.
Temporal and spiritual, our Royal Highnesses, learned senior advocates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the glory of God and the benefit of all human beings, I hereby today, Friday, the 25th of November, 2022, commission this edifice constructed by His Excellency Governor Wike administration in Rivers State. Thank you. Which way? Okay, thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is Justice Mary Odili Judicial Institute on Bank Road, Old GRA, Port Harcourt, built by the administration of His Excellency Chief Barrister Yeson Ezenwo Wike, CON, GSSRS, Life Venture, commissioned today by the Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, GCON, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, on this day, Friday, the 25th of November, 2022, to the glory of God.
And so that has been the job of the Chief Justice of Nigeria here to commission this edifice. You could see pleasantries they are being exchanged within the dignitaries there. Lots of laughter and smiles on the faces of those that attended this event. Any moment from now, the national anthem will be on, but right now they are going for inspection of the facility, and that is the main hall of the building where any kind of event could take place. It's a well-furnished building with screens, a sound system, the best you can think of, and the best chairs too there. And that's the governor and the Chief Justice looking around the building, inside the building. Well, part of what the governor did say is that this is going to serve as an institute for learning for people who are in the legal profession, especially the benchers and other people too who will come in here to get proper education and research as judges, magistrate judges, and different kinds of legal officers. It will serve a center, an oasis of from River State who attained this height. If you remember, he did say that it could be that there are other people who have attained several heights in the legal profession and so on, but this is the first time a woman will serve from the magistracy up to the pinnacle of what it is. So it is something very important for him at this point in time to honor such a person in this state. That is why this edifice is named after Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, retired. Well, the judiciary in River State and so here today, that's indeed an occasion. Well, this is
the national anthem. My day. Today I don't try shine. National anthem.
and that's it.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts.